Hey y'all, Fat Man Outdoors. I want to make a video for y'all today that's going to be two parts, but in the same video. I want to talk about two different things, and both of them are pretty important. Number one, I want to talk to you about your state's hunting or fishing guide. Pretty much every state you can go to a website and download a PDF of the hunting and fishing guide for your state. Now what a PDF is, that's a file that will download onto your phone or onto your computer so that you can access that anytime and look up what you need to look up on it for different laws or different things that you need to find out about the things that are going on in your state with your hunting or fishing or whatever you do. The importance of that is that there may be situations pop up that you had never dealt with before, and you need to know the legality of doing that thing when you're fishing or hunting, because if you make a mistake it gets expensive. The good thing about it is being able to download it on your phone, because even when we go in the woods, most of us carry our phones just in case there's an emergency. We need to call 911 or we need to text somebody to come to us because we've gotten hurt or something's happened or we've downed a big animal and we can't get it out on our own. Well, the cool thing about that is that there's a lot of situations that you may run into in the woods or on the water that is something that you didn't know that you couldn't do. You know, you may not be able to hunt over bait in your state, and you find a place on public land where somebody's poured out a bunch of corn and you ain't for sure, so you need to find out about that, so you need to look it up. And you can look that up and make sure that you're not about to make a mistake and end up costing you your privileges to hunt or your gun or your vehicle, stuff like that, because these game wardens get serious when it comes to you breaking the law, what they're going to do to you to convince you not to do it again. Now, another thing about the PDF is if you kill an animal, say like with a white-tailed deer, we're having a lot of diseases. And if you kill one and you want to find out if your animal that you've killed has any signs of those diseases, right in the field, right, you can sit in your blind and look it up and see if the animal that you just shot or one that you just saw has the symptoms of one of those diseases that the state's been watching out for, so that you don't take an animal and take it home and prepare that animal and put it away and end up eating it and making yourself sick or getting your family sick. You don't want to do that. So the PDF file of those hunting and fishing guides are very important. And again, it's simple to do. Don't cost you nothing. Not in Kentucky, at least I know it doesn't. And you can download it on as many devices as you want to. And it's super simple and it's super accessible. On the one in Kentucky, you just click on the subject you're wanting to look up to and it goes straight to it. You don't even have to scroll through the whole thing. You can go right to what you got, and they got a search bar on them where you can type in a question, and most of the time it'll run you right to the area where you're going to find your answer for that. Very handy tool, very necessity driven tool. If you're in the woods hunting or you're on the water fishing, you need this, but for not only for the animals' rights, but also for your rights, so that you know what you can and can't do. Okay, so that's the first part of this video. I wanted just to talk to y'all about that, let everybody know what you need to do, because it's very, very important. And the reason why, you know, just one simple thing I can give you an idea on is, like in the state of Kentucky, if you're a landowner, which I am, if you're a landowner, you can hunt over bait. You can't hunt on land that don't belong to you over bait, or public land you can't hunt on that's you can't put bait out for them. But on private land you can do that. So now on my land, I put out I got a feeder, and I do usually throw them a few extra little trinkets here and there. That's leading up to part 2 of this same video, but it's going to be in the same video. Now it's that time of year. Okay, the air's starting to get a little bit crisp here in Kentucky right now. It's crazy. They're talking about record heat, like in the high 80s over the next couple of days here. It doesn't make any sense, this weather, but God's in control. We'd mess it all up if we had control. But it's that time of year that you're going to get cooler nights, warmer days. The leaves are turning, everything's starting to die down, and the rut is about to come on. This is the end of October. Today's the 23rd. And it's not long coming. I've already seen bucks and posted some videos of bucks that were busting in on does. They would come running right into them. You know, no does are in heat yet, I don't think. Anyway, there might be a few, but not many if there is. And it's just that time of year where everybody's getting ready. So the bucks right now are still eating. Okay, they have not stopped eating yet. I've had some coming to our corn and eating, and they're still gouging down on it. But a good thing that you can give to your animals that they will really enjoy, and it'll really, really help them. And they're everywhere, and they're about to be everywhere for free or close to free. Pumpkins are a great source of all kinds of vitamins for deer, and not only that, the smell will attract deer like crazy. And then as they begin to rot, if there's wild hogs in your area, it'll give you a 2-for-1, because wild hogs will come to these things. They're crazy over them. If there's a store, a place around close to your house that sells vegetables, and they have a large selection of pumpkins for Halloween, wait till the day after and go talk to them and say, hey man, what do you want for everything you got if I take them? And a lot of times they'll make you a really, really, really good deal. And you can make a big feeding area with just pumpkins. The thing is, make sure that you open them up, whether you cut them open, which I prefer to do, or if you bust, just throw them on the ground and bust them. They'll eat them either way, but it takes them a long time to chew through that outside skin. But if you'll cut them open, a scent gets in the air, and they'll come right to them, and they really like it. And some of the seeds that's in them might just survive next year. And in the area where you've got a feeding area, you may end up getting some pumpkins on the ground and have pumpkins for next year and not even have to go buy any. Who knows? But I'm going to show you what I do. I'm going to cut this open. Now what I'll do is I'll cut it in 2 pieces like that, even when this is about basketball size or so. And then I'll actually come back in here and quarter it. So now I have 2 pieces that was half of the pumpkin. Then I'll just put them right down on the ground, just anywhere. Just throw them right down. And you can do this. You can keep, myself, what I would do if I could get 15 or 20 pumpkins laid back, so that you can put several halves out or several quarters out. And even the smaller ones like this, they work just as well. Sometimes it's a little bit funny with these, because if you get several does or several deer, not just does, because bucks will come to these too, that if there's several of them around, they'll kind of get in competition for getting to these pumpkins, and they'll actually pick them up and try to carry the piece off. And they may walk with it a few steps, but they won't carry it far, because their mouths are not made for picking stuff up. They're made for pushing stuff into the back of their mouth and then crunching it like they do when they eat corn. But you can just cut them up in these little small pieces, chuck them right down on the ground. I'll show you how I just throw them right down on the ground. That's all you gotta do. And then leave them, and that's it. They'll find them. I'll bring a few more out here this afternoon and tomorrow and cut up and make a pretty good bed to where there's quite a bit of them laid down on the ground, and kind of spread them out a little bit. So if you get a aggressive deer in here, a lot of times the older does, they won't let the younger deer eat. And I'll kind of just spread them out a little bit so that the other ones have a chance to eat too. And the older aggressive deer don't get a chance to run them away from it if you spread them out. You know, if you put them 8 or 10 feet apart, don't take much. But guys, it's almost that time. Let's just all work together, hunt ethically, okay? And to be honest, here's the thing. I know there's a lot of folks complain about people who bait deer, okay? I'm gonna put that to bed right now. You ever hunt the edge of a cornfield? You ever hunt the edge of a big white oak stand, put your tree stand up where the acorns are dropping. Ever hunt a soybean field? You're hunting over bait. You didn't pour that bait out, but you're hunting in that area, or you're hunting in that transfer area from bedding to a feeding area, because you're going to hunt where the bait's at. It doesn't matter if a farmer put it there or if you put it there. And if the state says it's legal, then it's legal. So y'all that don't like it, I'm sorry. Get over yourself. It's deer hunting, and you go by the regulations, and that's the way it works. Y'all, I hope to see you out there somewhere. This is a Fat Man. I'm gone.